Hello everybody, this is the review screencast for our third meeting, which happened on September 5th. And so we're going to go through what we did that day, and this is the last screencast, as that was the last meeting. There will be one more screencast actually for the coding bad exercises, which are going out in your homework, which I'll send out with a link to the screencast. And there are a bunch of exercises in the homework, all these. And with these, you should try and do them on your own, but I'm making a screencast of all the solutions because that way you can basically see how it's done and use that example as a reference when you do similar problems in the future. A lot of these have to do with method calls and string concatenations and if statements, and so they will be able to inform you as you work through similar problems in the future. So the first thing we should talk about is pseudocode and creating algorithms. So pseudocode, like its name implies, is not actual code. It's logic, essentially. You're writing down in English what you want your algorithm to do, what you want your program to do. So I think the easiest way to learn pseudocode is to do some, and with that, that's the Fibonacci sequence printer. So let's go here, and our task is to write a program that prints out the first n digits. Let's say n equals 20. So the first 20 digits of the Fibonacci sequence. So for those of you who are unfamiliar, the Fibonacci sequence goes something like this. 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, dot, dot, dot. And the pattern is this one here. The 2 is 1 plus 1. And the 3 here is 1 plus 2. And the 5 is 2. Here, I'll switch. The 5 is 2 plus 3. And you get the idea. So each one is the sum of the 2 that come before it. So how are we going to code this? Well, the first thing is we need to think about what our algorithm is going to do. So what we're going to do is, let's see, where's the eraser? Get rid of all this. Okay. So if we look back, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, what do we see? Well, let's say this is our current number. This would be our last number. And so we'll call this Cn for current num, and this will be Ln for last num. And what is the next number? The next number is the new current num, and so this guy here is going to equal the old current num plus the last num equals the new current num. And so what we're going to do is we're going to say for every new digit, we're going to want to, let's see, how do we scroll down here? All right, we want to set Cn to Cn plus Ln. And this is pretty easy to do in code, so we can think about that, but we're going to run into a problem. So let's start to code this, and then we'll see what problem we have. Another part of the pseudocode that we can do here is declare a variable representing the number of numbers in the sequence to print out. So, and as we said, we want the first n numbers, and in this case, n is going to be 20. So we declare, oh, that's the answer. Let's not do that. So int n equals 20, or we'll call it number of numbers equals 20. There we go. And then we want for every new digit, Cn, which is current num, equals old Cn plus Ln, which is last num. And then what do we want to do? We want to make old Cn equal Ln, right? So let's look at this. for here, switch to green. This is the new CN, which means, so the CN went to here, and the last num is going to go to here. So this is the new ln, like that. So if we go back to the code, or the pseudocode, make old CN equal ln, and I think that's about it. And then afterwards, what we want to do, we want to print out the sequence. Okay, so we start with this, good. And then we say, well, first of all, we're going to need to do, we're going to need to make variables for cn and ln. So we'll say int cn equals 1 and int ln equals 1. And the reason I'm making them both equal to 1 is because, as you remember, in the first part of the sequence, we have 1 and 1. So this will be our cn to start and ln to start. We'll initialize it to that. And then what we'll do is we'll say for int I equals 0, I is less than number of numbers, I plus plus. And what this will do is this will basically give us something that does this, whatever's in here, whatever's in the middle, 20 times, because number of numbers is 20. So that satisfies our for every new digit. We only want 20 new digits. This actually, I think, won't give us 20 because we're starting at we're already starting from digits 1 and 2. So maybe we subtract 2 here, but we'll see how that works in a little bit. So then what do we want to do? We want to say cn equals cn plus ln. This makes sense, right? Because we're here, we're saying our, yeah, let's clear this and get a new one. Clear page. All right. 1, 1, 2, 3, 5. So if this is our new CN, it's going to be our CN plus ln. So ln plus CN equals new CN. So that works well here. But then we have a problem. We say ln equals cn, right? Because we want to set ln, this ln here, to be this cn. But cn has already changed to this. It's already referring to this. So what do we need to do? We need to add a temporary variable where we say old cn equals temp. And then we can say ln equals temp. And so we do that here, where we say int temp. We don't have to declare it. And we can say, before this, we can say cn equals temp. And then ln equals temp. Oh, what's the problem here? Oh, we need to initialize it because, oh, temp equals cn, that's why. There we go. All right. So we run this out, and then we say how we print it out. Well, in our pseudocode, we say afterwards print out the sequence, but actually I think it might be easier to print out the digit after each one. So instead of afterwards, let's print it out after each one. And so the first thing we need is to print out the first two. So we'll do system.out.print. And we'll do cn plus comma space plus ln, or ln plus cn, actually. ln plus cn, and then we're adding a comma space. And this is all string concatenation here, and we can just mash strings together. We have ln and then, you know, a space in the double quotations, that's a string, and then cn and such, and then we'll do this, and we'll say over here system.out.print, not print line, print cn, no, not in quotation, cn plus that, and we'll see how this works. So if we run it, and let me just comment out the code here, so that won't get in the way. If we run this, you should see 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8. Oh, this is very good. And I'm not sure exactly how many are here. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 20. Okay, excellent. So the subtracting 2 worked. There we go. So let's see, this is a 10-minute video already, so I'm going to end this and make a new one for the next section.